Oh, we're back on Bros again. Just wanted to touch on the updated box office, which is awful. The movie itself now sits at a very, very low 8.89 million. The forecast that people predicted for the movie did end up coming true. This movie is DOA. It's probably going to be out of most theaters by next weekend, especially because Black Adam, I believe, comes out next weekend or a little bit after that. They're going to need to make more room for the screens so that they can have multiple showings of that movie, because a lot of people are going to be coming out to see it. So Bros will have to go. It's not like it's making the theaters any money, so it's got to go. They're going to keep Smile probably because Smile's making money. Not an impressive amount, but for what the box office is right now, they'll probably keep that one. These other movies here, man, the box office is just not doing very good right now. None of these movies are holding the box office up. But Bros funny. Bros, the only reason I'm picking on this movie is because of the way that the people attached to it have acted. Notably, Billy Eichner, who had a complete meltdown over the movie, tripled down on his comments too, by the way. I talked about this over the weekend. The guy has tripled down and pretty much held to his original statement that if you didn't see the movie, you're a phobe. Now, the way he elaborated on that in an interview was he said, I think that the phobia has something to do with it. Not necessarily everybody, not seeing it is, but I definitely think the country has a problem with it. Though, when you look at a lot of the movies that have done well, that have gay men in it, it kind of disagrees. It flies in the face of his comments. But he's looked rather foolish, and I don't know if this has hurt his career, but it's never going to go away. He's always going to be remembered for calling everybody that didn't see this movie homophobic. And then we've got another guy, another actor from this movie who went insane and blasted Brendan Fraser for playing a fat guy in The Whale. Basically, the guy was just mad that he got the part, or that Brendan Fraser got the part and he didn't. So not only that, we now have the director coming out and going after fans. What's going on with this movie? What is going on with this movie? Why is everybody going after the fans? It's not just the fans, people in general. So now the director of Bros is like, audiences just don't know what's good for them. They don't know what's good for them. I'm sorry, dude. I have no interest at all in watching this movie that has tons of gay orgies in it and stuff. Like, this isn't just not something that I want to see. If anybody else wants to see it, that's great. I don't want to watch that. And from what I understand, there's a couple of scenes like that in the movie. It's just not something that I'm into watching. I don't care how funny the movie is. So, pass. Giant pass. I'm good. I'm out. I'm going to go watch something else. And I don't think I'm the only one. A lot of other people seem to have had my thoughts, and they didn't want to go see the movie either. And I'm not saying that this movie shouldn't have been made. Studios can make any movie they want, but it's not my responsibility to go see it. It's not my responsibility to watch your movie and support it. You need to make me want to see it. And this isn't something that I wanted to see. First off, I'm not a fan of rom-coms. But to call everybody homophobic is kind of bullshit, especially when you've got movies like The Birdcage, Brokeback Mountain, and recently Bohemian Rhapsody, which is actually a pretty good movie. But none of that matters. All that gets forgotten. Just like when Simu Liu came out and said Shang-Chi was the first American martial arts movie. The media backed him up on that, and they'll back this guy up on that. Even though somewhat, not every media site is sticking with Billy Eichner. But let's get to this. So the director is running around doing damage control, and he's talking about why the movie failed. First off, he says that Hollywood has trained people not to go see comedies. That's not true at all. Hollywood has damaged comedies because, well, everything that has come out comedy-wise recently, there hasn't been very many, and a lot of them are woke, like Neighbors 2. They point out here that movie suffered from feminism. That's not far-fetched. But you also have movies like this, Bridesmaids, Hangover 1 and 2, Step Brothers, Ted. Those movies did pretty good. I don't remember how old Ted 2 is. Hangover 1 and 2, though, and 3, all made big money. $277 million, $254 million, $112 million. So comedies can work. The thing is, comedies need to be funny, and they need to be edgy. And those are two hard things to do in modern Hollywood. It's hard to do those things. But you've also got this. Stoller partially blames audiences for not seeking out his film. It is very strange just because the movie is so much fun. And as someone who makes comedies for movie theaters, or did until I guess this weekend, I love seeing comedies in movie theaters, and people do. It's almost like people don't know what's good for them. You don't know what's good for yourself. You should have went and seen this movie. Now, it's nowhere near as bad as Billy Eichner's comments, but you don't get to tell me what's good for me. This movie, I would have not liked this movie. Not something I would have wanted to watch. I don't like any rom-coms, first off. And most of those are supposed to be somewhat funny. I don't like them. I think they're awful and boring. They have no explosions or action. This is not something I want to watch. I'm kidding. I don't like movies. That's not all I like. I like a lot of movies. But rom-coms, not a fan of them. Don't care for them. And this one doesn't look like it was going to change the game for me. But I find it funny that he's out here talking about saying, like, oh, people don't know what's good for them. And the reason that people didn't see this really is because, well, people have been trained not to watch comedies. So people like comedies. The problem is studios are afraid to make comedies because of the fact that, well, what happens if you make a comedy that's too problematic? People get mad and they raise a big fit. Social media blows up with a bunch of purple-haired crybabies, and the movies don't get made, or they don't get sequels, or nothing like them gets made again. It's been a long time since we've seen an edgy comedy. They're making another American Pie, by the way. It's a reimagined American Pie. That's going to be a disastrous movie. You know it's not going to be funny. Anyway, this movie's failure is fascinating to me because the meltdown by the people involved in it has been glorious, and it just seems to keep getting worse. Now you've got the director blasting people saying that they don't know what's good for them. You've got one guy crying that he didn't get a role over Brendan Fraser. And then you've got the main star having a complete meltdown, calling everybody istophobe. By the way, the director covered up for him, saying, oh, I think he just said that out of context. How do you take that? How do you say that out of context? The guy said that homophobes didn't see this movie, basically called America homophobic, which is bullshit. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.